Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming you all to International Affairs, being broadcasted here in the SATV's Gulshan studio. I am, of course, your host, Shamsalam Panthu, with the latest updates from around the world. Before we jump into our discussions today, let me introduce my panel. Here in the studio, I have Barrister M. Sarwar Hussain. He is a senior jurist and an analyst of international geopolitics. I welcome you on to the program. Alongside, we will have Norman Floyd Barnes joining us from Washington, District of Columbia, from the United States of America. I want to begin our discussion today with you, Norman. Very good morning to you. We know for a fact that 2 U.S. service members were killed in attacks that stemmed from Iran towards Jordan. Alongside, we see that the Central Command has completed its 7th consecutive night of strikes against Iran. And of course, multiple bridges, multiple infrastructures belonging to the Iranian administration have been targeted in the last 1 week of strikes. I want to begin with you, Norman. Tonight we will be also entering the world's greatest show, the FIFA World Cup finals as well. So I want to get a comment from you. How are you seeing these recent developments, especially because the fighting has not stopped? The Memorandum of Understanding, Islamabad MOU, as according to Iran, is currently suspended. A very good morning to you, Norman. What are some of the updates that you have?
Greetings and good morning from Washington. The atmosphere here is that the term is predictability. The predictability is that the United States is going to respond to Iran. Iran is going to respond to the United States in terms of attacks. Unfortunately, we have now 16 American service members killed in this conflict. 2 more died in Jordan as a result of attacks from Iran, and the United States responded by attacking the more infrastructure areas inside of southern Iran, electrical and water plants. So Iran response is they are now attacking Jordan, Kuwait, and whatever. The issue is geopolitically is right now, as you know, the earth is warming. It's getting hot. It's extremely warm here, extremely hot everywhere else. Traditionally, that area gets extremely hot. The temperature is rising, and Iran is utilizing the weather now as a point of contention in dealing with the other countries. When you use the heat and you take away the ability for power to cool and water to drink, it becomes extremely difficult to live in that region. So the pressure is on the Gulf countries to basically deal with the United States, advise the United States that, hey, what you're doing is not working. We're getting more suffering, more pain. And to the point right now, the prices of everything is going up around the world. Every time this happens, Iran tightens the noose and they close up the strait. They close up the ability for free trade and commerce to continue while the U.S. continues with the airstrikes. So the airstrikes is creating craters, but not policy changes. So what that means is basically we are into a process back to the 28th of February. We have not improved. Nothing has changed. The issue about nuclear proliferation has not even come to the table again. Iran still retains that nuclear material, and they do not intend to give it up. And they also feel that they have the keys to controlling the world economy by tightening up the passageway and ships going through the region. And that has a effect on the United States and the rest of the world by increasing prices. They know every time that goes up, the prices goes up and the ships stop moving and everything comes to a halt, the control. So that put more pressure onto the White House. And they believe, Iranians believe time is on their side. They trying to basically stretch this situation out until midterms come up. And when our elected officials will have to deal with the people here on the voting table. And from that point, nobody knows what's going to happen and how things going to happen. But we know it's not going to go back to where it was prior to this war. It's going to change. Something is going to change, and that change is not going to favor the United States military and its present government actions and how they're dealing with the world.
Right, right. As I make from Norman Floyd Barnes' statement, very important that you raise some of these issues that we are analyzing, that we are seeing, especially regarding Iran. The ships have stopped once again. The strait has been closed as the world focuses and is quite frankly very distracted regarding the World Cup final that is going on. Even there, there's some geopolitical issues as well. I want to turn to Barrister M. Sarwar Hussain. Your comments regarding the two service members that were killed in action in retaliation from Iran. Not only so, there are also other issues. Donald Trump came to deliver a speech as of recent. It focused on the 2020 elections. It focused on how he believes that there has been Chinese interference in the 2020 elections. He also pointed out that pushed for Congress to pass legislation that would require proof of citizenship to register, vote, and have voter IDs at the polls. Regardless of everything else, Donald Trump is perhaps seen as the wartime president in the United States of America, even with the approval ratings coming very low ahead of the midterm elections. I want to get a comment from you, how you're seeing things. He is blaming his neighbor, Canada, for wildfire smoke, which Canadian government has no control over. It is a natural disaster, natural calamity, as one may look towards it. He's of course holding Canada responsible for this wildfire smoke hovering over much of the Midwest and the eastern United States, and vowed to call Prime Minister Mark Carney to find out what they are doing about it. Very regional tension has been high even in the Western Hemisphere. I want to get a comment from you, how you are analyzing these build-ups.
Thank you, Parthu. Thank you, Mr. Norman from USA. Thank you, audience.
Yes.
Look, as we heard that so far 16 US servicemen has been killed. That means there are dozens of injured who are taking treatment in many places like Germany and US in military hospitals.
Right.
So, in the war, as the body bags are flying to the home country, US, the pressure on the president will be surging. So, the more body bag, more pressure. So, first of all, we have to say that this is a very unjust war. And the US president, who is really a idiosyncratic and a prolific liar, in his first term, if you Google it, you will find he has lied more than 5,000 times in his 4 years tenure. And in this term, in the very first inaugural session, he lied 11 times. So he is a prolific liar, and a demand has come from US citizen that he is an unsound person. His mental soundness is a question. When what he say, what he do, what he will be doing is very unpredictable, very unpredictable. One thing is sure, that he has succumbed to the dirty tricks, to the dirty strategy of Netanyahu. And you know that recently, as I had been saying, many had been saying that Netanyahu is a war criminal. A warrant order has been issued from the International War Crimes Tribunal against him. And by harboring, by protecting these war criminals, legally, Mr. Trump is a abettor. And the punishment of the principal criminal and the abettor is same. That means in future, Mr. Trump also can be tried for abetting a war criminal like Netanyahu in war criminal tribunals. As we had been saying, the same voice has been echoed by Mr. Zohran Mamdani, the mayor of New York, that Netanyahu is a war criminal. America being a country having rule of law, having democracy, so though their policy is differ from many countries in regard to Israel and in regard to other, they follow a dubious foreign policy sometimes. Still, the word war criminal has come none other than Zohran Mamdani. So US policymakers must look into this matter. And from Iran side, Iran, Mr. Mustafa probably said that it is proved to the world that a president, the word of the president, the signature of the president has no value. Mr. Trump has put him to that low level. What Hitler has said. Hitler made a non-aggression pact with Russia before World War II, and Hitler broke it very shortly after signing of the treaty. Same thing Mr. Trump has done, signing a MOU and the truce, and he broke it very quickly. That means he has succumbed to the pressure, to the Israeli pressure and to the Israeli lobbyist. So he cannot take decision for their own country. So he is an extended part of Israel, and what Israel is trying to do, he's succumb. He is under pressure to do that. So that's why last 7 consecutive night he bombed Iran, and Iran is putting their resistance. So they will put their resistance. We know that their war capability is very strong, and 2 servicemen has been killed. So and we also see that there is earning from China, a official earning. That I don't know how what is authenticated, but it came in the media that if nuclear weapon is used, then that will be devastation for Israel. There will be devastation. So this war criminal Netanyahu may turn to the devastation. So it is up to the US policymakers to stop it now and bring their peace deal back.
Of course, excellent remarks coming from Barrister M. Sarwar Hossain. Some excellent examples of some of the things you have mentioned. Before I go on to a short commercial break, let me tell you all that New York is going to be the site of not only the World Cup, but also the UN General Assembly, held to be in the coming September. Before we go on to a break, let me also remind you that Zohran Mamdani, the mayor-elect, has stated that he is going to utilize his authority to arrest Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu if he visits for this very event. With that being said, it's time to take a short commercial break. Afterwards, we will be dissecting this upcoming event as well. Welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Panthu.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them,
testing nuclear missiles,
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing,
special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV screen,
Really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks,
preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China to come to agreement,
They will face better projects.
with presidency of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with 2 types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital. Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsalam Panthu.
I don't.
Welcoming our viewers back on to International Affairs. I'm, of course, joined in the studio with Barrister M. Sarwar Hussain. Alongside, we have Norman Floyd Barnes. And my next question would be to Norman Floyd Barnes regarding these very similar updates that we've been hearing. New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani is reviewing whether he has the authority to arrest Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the General Assembly being held in September. The annual event that focuses on the UN's charter, the UN's agenda for around the world, and we look at the World Cup final that is going to be held as well. Benjamin Netanyahu openly came out in the support of Argentine leader Javier Milei in what Javier says that he is the greatest Zionist leader in the world, and of course Benjamin Netanyahu is in support of Argentina. On the other side, Spain, we know for a fact that we've been talking about Spain in relation to the Middle East war, and in recent terms the Spanish have been flagging and supporting the Palestinian cause as of recent days as this war has been prolonging. I want to ask you, Norman, how are you seeing these latest developments? Today we will be stepping into the final game. New York, once again, it's going to be held in the New Jersey Stadium. In the backdrop of the wildfire smoke. So it's probably, as you describe it in unique terms, a very hot mess that is brewing to understand which direction it will go. I want to get a comment from you. How are you seeing these latest developments?
Yes, the day we will have the finals for the World Cup in New Jersey. The wildfire smoke has actually reached here in Washington, actually here where I live. The skies are real gray. The smoke has got down to as far as Washington, D.C. And the president wants to impose tariffs on Canada for a natural disaster, which it's not going to happen. The games are more these games are very geopolitically motivated. There's a lot of people going to be watching. A lot of countries are holding their issues and their concerns, and they're trying to align themselves with a team. Even you Argentina, you're Spain. Spain is going through this rift with the United States government right now about political issues and how they see how the world should move forward. And Argentina is dealing with their issues and dealing with their perceptions, and so you're choosing. Are you going to be on the dark side, or are you going to be on the right side? Are you going to be on the right side? Or are you going to be on the wrong side? Whatever. Well, regardless, we're looking for a very entertaining and spectacular finale to the World Cup. Will it solve the problems of the world? No, but a lot of people will feel a lot better after the game's over, and they will have
An easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them,
testing nuclear missiles.
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing.
Special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV screen.
really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
Preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this?
Well, we see how that goes, but the point is that by announcing it, putting it out there, it plants a seed into the people's mind that something's going on, and it also gives them a platform to basically, at some point in time, possibly, hey, something is wrong, we've got a problem, and we have a national emergency. So I think he's trying to build up to a situation where we have a national emergency in which he can basically, at that time, declare a state of emergency and somehow deter people or try to initially stop the midterms because he feels that it's so corrupt. I do not feel that's going to happen. But the point is, the seed is planted out there. The notion that something is wrong, corruption is going on, and this gives him another feather in his cap regarding the outcome. When the outcome comes back, he say, "Hey, I told you it's wrong. Look at the outcome. It's corrupt, deceptive again, and it's not right." So he's already anticipating the negative part of it. The positive part of it is that people will look at this. They will evaluate him. They will evaluate his administration and how things going, and they will make the appropriate changes to what need to be done in terms of how our government perceives and how we spend our money and what we invest in and who do we have relationships with. So the transition is happening. So what you're seeing now with these military actions right now is a desperate attempt to basically get the punches in while he can, while he has the authority to do so, and while the people have not made the final decision on how this going. So it's going to change. We're going to see a lot of changes come up. Then Iran is also looking and monitoring this, the weather issue with the heat, the situation with our geopolitical problems here, our internal fighting we have in here, and basically the tolerance of the world. Russia, China is now looking at this situation as a real problem. And of course, other countries like Bangladesh and whatever is also a problem because they're dependent on the resources that come out the region. They do not have reserves, so they have to buy. The cost is going up. So that is going to put pressure again on the White House of basically, hey, what are we going to do about this? What are you going to do about this thing? So while they're doing that, alternative measures, meetings, agreements has been made, and they will be announced real soon about how they're going to be do workarounds. Other countries are not waiting for America to decide because what they're seeing, the same pattern is continue, and there's no indication, there's no plan, there's no exit strategy. Nothing is being put in place to basically to resolve or provide a plausible solution to what's going on. That is the issue. There's no solutions. There's no plan. So people have to make their own plans. Countries have to make their own plans, and they have to basically, as we say, deal with the devil. And there are terms going to be made, and there's going to be alternative shifts and changes. So we will see a change. It's not going to be immediate, and there will be transitional bumps along the road to get to where it needs to be. But at the end, there will be a balance, and the balance is not going to favor the ones who are currently in control right now. And so Israel, United States, other countries, billionaires who's making profits on this will basically have to level off. They'll be okay, level off, but the profits is not going to be the same. And hopefully, with Mother Nature, we'll be able to see another day. But the tides are changing, the weather patterns are changing, and our emphasis should be focused on the environment, not the economic lacking or the profits not being made by certain people.
Of course, a very well-rounded statement from Norman Floyd Barnes, actually picturizing the real scenario that we see. Donald Trump's special address, as you were telling, I'm reading the NBC News version of things, and even they are having a tough time fact-checking all those that was uttered by the U.S. President Donald Trump. In certain aspects, it is stating that it is almost impossible for China to undermine U.S. elections. And of course, this has various Democratic leaders in a context as well. Top Democrats took to social media after President Trump's speech, namely Senator Ed Markey, D. Mass, who is up for re-election in November, called for Trump's impeachment for undermining and subverting our free and fair elections. The idea of voting, the idea of it being free and fair, now it's becoming a question to those who are serving in the politics, serving in the administration in the United States of America. On the sidelines as well, hosting the Spanish Premier Pedro Sanchez for the World Cup, even while having the breakaway of ties, economic ties with Spain. I want to ask Ambassador Sarwar Hussain, how do you see these latest developments? Donald Trump is risking the midterms and continuing his assault on Iran.
Yeah, like Bangladesh. Now he has started blaming the administration, those who are involved in conducting the elections. So he is a person, as I said, that very idiosyncratic. You remember in his first term, when there was a hassle with the result of the election, he said, "Declare me as a president. If I even lose, declare me as a president." Then he came out with the big idea, making a wall in Mexico border.
Right.
So he's always with some funny idea, diverting the attention of the world somewhere else and preparing for his business and war game. So he has probably brought this war as a business deal, because basically he's a business person, and he's a person who wanted to buy Greenland.
Correct.
There was the issue of Greenland.
It's still
Then
there.
Netherlands
Still do.
Netherlands has to place their troops there. So coming out from Netherlands, he said he will buy Canada. And Canadian authorities said that Canada is not for sale. Is not for sale. Now he is coming with this election idea. So domestically, he is always with some idea, so that there is always some issue. And internationally, with the tie of Israel, as we are saying that this Mr. Netanyahu has, he is the second in command of Netanyahu, and he last 1 month we have seen that he has a very quarrelsome talk with Netanyahu.
Yes, some messages back and forth.
Back and forth. That has been minimized. That has been managed. Again, he is backing in full support Netanyahu, and the war is continuing. So this person is a very dangerous person. It will be wise for the American people to take him to impeachment. It will be a burden. It will be responsibility for the lawmakers, both house of the U.S., Congress and Senate. If we can bring him the impeachment, that will be a very good record for the history of U.S. So
right.
the call for the impeachment is very real, and if this can happen, that will be a good example for the American people to uphold the democracy, rule of law, justice, and preventing this unjust war here and there.
Of course. Once again, excellent remarks from you, Ambassador Sarwar Hussain. Very briefly, would you enlighten us as well as the audience? How do you see the rival leader to be in your own nation during the FIFA World Cup, Spain? They have been having, even regarding this Iran war, the bilateral ties have been diminishing as of recent. How do you see it? The Spanish leader is going to be there.
You see, the Spain from very beginning opposed the aggression against Gaza.
Correct.
Openly, and that's why the diplomatic tie has been disrupted with Israel and Spain. But we Bengali people basically are very emotional. They actually watch it with the spirit of game. Messi is very popular here, and the Argentine goalkeeper visited Bangladesh. So all of the supporters, the young people, the root level people, they do not understand this nitty-gritty of this geopolitics. They are against the war, against the war of Israel in Lebanon or Gaza, but truly they watch it with the spirit of game. That's why they know it, that the Argentine in support of Israel, but they are not changing their support for the football game. So from the spirit, they watch it, they support it with the true spirit of game, not connecting with any geopolitics or these Jewish issues.
Of course.
So that's why today, of course, there are many Bengali who also support this Spain, and the game. I think the game is blanched, and any result can come out. Any result, definitely. Messi is a world-class player. He can make the change of the game.
Of course.
So we'll see the result tonight, and we hope that a good game should come out.
Right.
And in the world game like cricket or in football, there is always associated with the geopolitics. This is always. You see, many times the Indian team did not visit Pakistan.
For China to come to agreement,
They will face better projects.
with presidency of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
Simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International affairs. Watch every its relation to geopolitics. Of course, yesterday night we've seen a FIFA World Cup game that had 10 goals between France and England, England being the victor. But as we were mentioning that geopolitics and sport come hand to hand, we also see that regarding the Falklands issue that has been very ripe in geopolitical circles between the English and of course the Argentine. Regarding the offshore islands, the Falkland Islands, self-governing estate, UK overseas territory. With that being said, it's time to take a short commercial break. Afterwards, we will be looking at an issue that is stemming from our region. I request our audience to stay tuned for more on this very program. Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital. Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsalam Panthu.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them.
Testing nuclear missiles.
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing.
Special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV's screen.
really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
Preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
Really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage welcoming our viewers back onto the last segment of International Affairs. We were, of course, in discussion of various worldly issues, not only in the Middle East, but as well as in the dominion of sport, as we are going to head towards the World Cup final tonight. Bangladesh time is going to be held at 1 a.m. On the very next day, the 20th of July. I want to focus in the studio with Barrister Sarwar Hussain on a different issue. We see that authorities in India's capital, Delhi, have moved the fasting social activist Sonam Wanchuk to the hospital. 21 days he has been fasting in compliance with the court's order. Police has confirmed that the High Court has asked authorities to watch his health very closely and intervene if needed. Of course, in response to a petition asking authorities to force feed him as his health weakened, he's one of those activists that have been very vocal of the recent political developments in India, especially the comments that came from the Education Ministry and the Minister towards those students in India. Of course, Cockroach Janata Party, a whole massive movement has happened, but his fasting is what caused people to break a sore thought regarding his conditions. I want to get a very short comment. How do you see this? As here in Bangladesh, we are successful in arresting the forces were successful in arresting a person related to the assassination of the late President Ziaur Rahman. So I want to ask you, Barrister M. Sarwar Hossain, how you're seeing this as well.
Yeah, Sonam Wangsuk is a human rights activist and a young leader, came in the forefront with the cockroach movement. So he is protesting against this abuse of power, all those by the this government of India, and fasting, go for hunger strike. And High Court has intervened to look after his health, and police is doing the necessary action so that he recover from his health issue and can protest. So in India, still High Court can intervene with this to protect these leaders, young leaders, so that they are not being subject to abuse from the police brutality or from the government brutality. So there is issue and it will go on. And this came with the comment that those who are the comment by Chief Justice. So that was a very wrong comment, and thereby he modified his comment. So we'll see what is happening with Sonam Wangsuk, and people from this region will watch out what will be the last condition and how it goes about. And in Bangladesh, we know that one Major Muzaffar has been arrested after 45 years absconding position. Look, there is a politics in Bangladesh that from Indian side, they only rely on Awami League and Jatiyo Party. So after the brutal killing of President Zia, 1981, who got the advantage? It is President Ershad. President Ershad declared martial law in 1982, 24 March, I remember. That was the last day of my SSC examination. So later on he took over the power and continued in the power for 9 years. And next beneficiary is Awami League. And Awami League and Jatiyo Party is very close associate. They rule the country for last 15 years, Awami League regime. Though Jatiyo Party was not in power, but they got the share of the power. They had 2 ministers. So the rivalry between BNP and Awami League and Jatiyo Party is very clear. So from in the regime of Awami League, if this person used to visit in Bangladesh, the government took a very lenient view, the lenient step.
Right.
They didn't make any step to arrest him. And we know most of the time he was absconding and residing in India and sometimes visiting Thailand. So this person this time made a communication with another officer called Mr. Masududdin Chowdhury for last 2 years. From the link of that phone call, he has been traced out that he is in Bangladesh. So government has taken the right decision to arrest him and put him on trial. Excuse me. So we will see how that is ended. In any event, there have been many world leaders is assassinated. We said earlier that John F. Kennedy, Benazir Bhutto, in India, many places.
Even in Japan, Shinzo Abe, very recently.
And President Zia was killed in a time when the country was about to take off. The country needed a leader. Those country is developed is because of a leader. So we had a paramount leader, President Zia. When just he took off, when is the prime time to work, prime time to build a nation.
Right.
He was killed, and many commentators after his killing commented that Bangladesh will be behind 30 years. 30 years. So the leader a nation needed, he was a leader like that, and he was killed. By his arrest, we have got an opportunity. Actually, what was the conspiracy? What was the involvement of RAW? What was the involvement of India? Why Manjur was killed, not putting him on the trial? Why he was killed, where Manjur asked to hand over to the police? So there was a missing link. This link has been established. Now it is the responsibility of the authority to interrogate him, to put him on trial, and bring all those issues, and thereby he was the only living person who participated in this operation, killing operation, and later on he took the dead body of President Jia, another two, and tried to hide the dead body, but put him in a grave, very unceremonious way in Raujan. So for the national interest, for the interest of the history, all those information has to be unearthed now from him. What General Manjur wanted to say, now he was very close associated with General Manjur. He was serving in the divisional headquarters as G2 operations. It's a very vital staff appointment. So now we have a opportunity to bring all those issues, especially the connection with India. What has happened? What was the role of President Ershad? So this is really a very significant issue to conclude the trial of killing of the President Jia.
Of course. Excellent remarks once again from Barrister M. Sarwar Hussain. I must thank you for your contribution towards this program, International Affairs, your patience and your evaluations regarding international and national importance segments of news that require discussion to understand the background, the history. I thank you once again, Barrister M. Sarwar Hussain, thanking Norman Flood Barnes for joining in from Washington, D.C. to provide a perspective from the American side. With that being stated, I also want to finish today is the 19th of July. I wish everyone have a very ceremonious and celebratory evening tonight, as we are going to be watching the world's greatest show, the World Cup final, as of tonight. I will also request those not to take part in any kind of violent acts, regardless whoever is deemed the victor at the end of 90 minutes. With that being stated, I'm Shamsul Alam Pantho signing off on International Affairs.